Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here. And today I actually want to talk about the internet because I think it's time to make the internet a utility, at least here in the United States. And what I mean by that is at the moment, the internet itself, your internet connection to your business or your home or whatever, doesn't actually have the same protections from the federal government as the telephone system does. Meaning there are certain things like net neutrality, for example, that the government will enforce for a telephone. And by net neutrality for a telephone, it means you can pick up a phone and make a call, and that call will have the same amount of quality around the country versus the internet, where oftentimes in a net neutrality situation, the goal is to have an equal playing field for, let's say, businesses, to get access to good bandwidth, and then obviously, see where the competition falls. And for home users, it ensures that your internet service providers can't throttle their competitors as you go to, let's say, their websites or something else. And that is something that I really think we need to talk about, because I think this entire pandemic is really underscoring the need to make sure that, one, we have net neutrality, but more importantly, I think we have the internet be classified as a utility, and that is called Title II. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is at this point becoming the most critical infrastructure for communication that we have. Think about this. Businesses that are in offices now have to go and work from home. They're sending everybody home. The internet is basically going to be required from the home of every single employee that has to remote in or connect to wherever they've got to connect to. We have seen communication platforms like Microsoft Teams, Zoom, who's had a rather unfortunate week, if you saw my previous video or read anything about that, and other platforms like that basically be overrun and overwhelmed in all of this, not to mention staving off boredom in the house thanks to Netflix and Hulu and all of the other streaming services out there. And so the internet is becoming an essential part of the community. It's becoming an essential part of the communication. The odds are we are not picking up a phone to talk to our people. We are collaborating online. Studies have shown that, not to mention nobody's really faxing anymore. And so phone lines and phone communication just isn't getting the same amount of use as data connections are, because we are communicating over them. And if you were still thinking, well, okay, that's all well and good, but, we had that before this, I think the big thing that really made me think about this, as I was thinking about this morning, is education. We are now e-learning. And schools, especially public schools here in the United States, have to have a certain standard. They have to have a certain threshold, if you will, by state, by all of this. And we can't have kids in school right now because everybody's on lockdown. And so that internet connection becomes the conduit to that public school, which makes it a utility in this sense. And I think that some smart lawyer could probably, argue that in court. Now, we know the FCC under this current commissioner and administration, the FCC commissioner is Ajit Pai, and I, again, don't care about your politics, they have been working hard to dismantle net neutrality rules, which basically the Comcasts and Verizons of the world are a big fan, because we have seen a historical example after historical example of their versions of throttling services and all of that. I actually did a video, I want to say 6 months to a year ago, literally listing out multiple incidences as reported by, basically top tier news sources over the years on this entire situation. But now we've got a situation where we can't really be throttling because we need it. It's essential. Communication for hospitals is now primarily going over internet. And in a situation where we have multiple organizations around the globe coordinating efforts, researching infections, spreading the word on whatever platform they have, the internet is not a luxury. The internet is a necessity. The internet, I think, is a utility. And so I think that's something that we really need to consider here, because long gone are the days of telephone communication in the traditional sense. We are on the internet. You are watching me or listening to me here on the internet. And so that is your thoughts for this Friday evening. I hope everybody is healthy and coronavirus free, and obviously we hope this passes quickly, but I'd be very curious to hear your thoughts. I have no doubt that some of you will call me an idiot, and I have no doubt that some of you will agree. I welcome all opinions as always, but that's your news, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP, and please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well, and as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.